I would like to write my second book, but unsure if I have the strength to do it. Is this something you can see? That's a fantastic question. Let's have a look. So, this one wants to come out. Let's start with this in a second. And then let's see where we're going. Okay, so that was our jumper. Okay, so that's quite a positive start. Okay, so the first thing I'm seeing here is that part of the reason why you're questioning this even is because there's a lot of emotional attachment to it, because of how much the first book meant to you and how things have gone with that and how you've been feeling about the whole situation. And I know that you kind of like feel, is the second one going to be a success? Am I going to waste my time? And all these kind of questions. I know you have them in you, and the truth is, it looks to me like it will be a success because it just has the right energy to it. The hardest part really is to make sure that you overcome your own internal fears and internal worries, because it's easier said for me, because I'm sitting here and I can see like in your energy how much success you will have, but you're the one that has to make the work and everything, and you have to look at it. It looks to me that it will be challenging. I'm not going to say to you it will be easy. There will be challenges. You will have to work really hard, and there's going to be a lot of long nights, a lot of long evenings just to really get everything together. But ultimately, I do see this is going to be right for you. I mean, look at this. I mean, you basically, this is your true nature. This is your true calling, making sure that you actually got the love and the love for what you do in your life. And I know you love writing, and it's something that's so passionate about you. As I'm looking at it, I'm just seeing it like bursting out of you. I'm just seeing so much happiness coming with this. So it's definitely the right thing for you to do. The key to it all is at the moment is taking things one step at a time. I know it's very overwhelming. You're trying to do so much. You're really putting your all into it. Just take it easy. Don't try to do too much too quickly, because you can drain yourself again. It's there are new opportunities coming up. It's a new beginning for you. It's a new chapter. So do go for it, because it will be good for you. So let's have a quick look at your second question. Is there companionship on the horizon? Yep. Let's have a look. So actually, let's see where we're going here. Companionship. I mean, Two of Cups. Let's leave it there for now, because I do see it's happening. It's there for you. It's something that's very, how can I put it? It's something you wanted for a long time, and you, on some level, you have started thinking, maybe it's not happening, and I'm okay with that. I focus on my career, because you have a very good way of looking at everything generally, and you kind of like compartmentalized your love life, and like, okay, I leave it there for now because it's not happening. It hasn't happened before, but this just tells me it's coming, and it's still there for you. The key to it is really to make sure that you actually start believing it again, because there's only so much hurt, there's only so much pain we can all deal with, and there's only so much disappointment we can deal with, and you have used your disappointments to actually put into your words, into your career, into your book, and now it's time to kind of like, I'm not saying stop writing the book, of course, because that's going to be a success, but what I'm saying is like, don't put all your energy into your career, don't put everything you have into your work, leave some aside for yourself, for your own happiness, because you have so much here happening still that's coming. It looks fantastic, and I do see that as long as you can be open to what the universe brings in for you, love is happening for you. I mean, you mentioned it as a companionship. I know that you kind of like want someone that is there for you, and you're not really looking for any big romance, anything massive here, but you still want to have someone around you that feels like, this feels like my person, and that's what I'm seeing here. I see here that you also asked if there's any kind of timing on this. I would say we're looking at around the early summertime, because I'm starting to feel quite warm. I'm starting to feel summer is happening. I'm seeing I'm seeing sunshine. I'm seeing flowers coming up and everything. So I would say I would put it more towards early summer rather than looking at late spring. So around the summertime would be very good for you. I hope that helped a little bit. Will I be able to travel abroad this year with my children? I haven't had a holiday for the longest while. I've been told many years ago that I will one day live abroad. Do you see this happening? And if so, who with? Let's have a look for you then. Okay, so first of all, let's have a look at the traveling. Let's see what comes up there. Okay, so I mean, yes, I see what you mean. There's a lot of being drained, of feeling you've been giving so much all the time, and you just need a break from it all. And I do see that this is coming. And it looks to me that there is a situation, something here that is indicating to me that there's some kind of holiday coming. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean. Okay, I have to be honest. It looks to me that we're looking at two different things here. It looks that there's either a holiday coming a lot later in the life, which would be abroad, or something a lot sooner, like late summer, which is more, it feels more like within the country. So I do feel you have the choice. If you want to go and have a break sooner, it looks more that it's something that is within the country. If you are okay to wait a little bit longer, I would say around October, early November time, that's when I see something abroad potentially happening here. But I feel that because of everything that has gone on with you, it looks to me that it's kind of like one or the other this time round. So just be kind of like work out what is more important to you and go from there. You did want to know if you will be living abroad. Let's have a look. Let's actually use the crystal here because I do like working with that. As I'm looking into this here, I'm seeing a lot of blue colors here, which tells me about communication and things are going actually the way that you're hoping for. And it, excuse me, I do feel, from what I'm looking at, what I'm seeing here, that it's happening. I do see that you will be moving abroad fully. Yeah, definitely. I'm seeing, as I'm looking at it, I'm just getting pictures here of. I feel we're looking at the south of France. I don't know if that's where you were looking at, but that's kind of like the image that I've been given here from the crystal. So yeah, it does look to me that this is something that will happen, and yeah, it's definitely there on the cards for you and in your energy. I have to say, it looks to me we're looking at about 2 to 3 years from now when this happens, and this seems to be to give you the time to really get everything into order, to have everything just right for you. You also have another question. Let's have a quick look here. When my mother died, the artificial fish tank, which has stopped working, started moving furiously. Okay, interesting. I believe this was a sign from her. Am I right? She died so suddenly, I wonder if it was sudden for her. Now, this is a fantastic question. I do feel it was her. I do feel that it was her energy coming through and her kind of like just talking to you to say, I'm okay. That's basically her way of saying, I'm okay and please don't worry about me. It can be sudden for them, and they sometimes do feel confused. What happens usually once someone passes, they're going through a time of healing where they're kind of like surrounded by all their friends, families, and important people around them, and they're kind of like receiving healing. I call it through the healing period they're going through, and afterwards they usually start coming through when you try to connect with them. But with her, because it was so sudden and everything, it seems to me that a lot of her energy was still around and was able to kind of like make things move, not like in a poltergeist kind of way, but in a kind of way of like, I'm a bit confused. So yes, you were absolutely right. This was her energy still. I have to say she seems absolutely happy and fine now, and she wants you to know that she's very proud of how you're dealing with everything, because she knows you've had quite a hard time and things haven't really been brilliant for you. And yeah, I talked to you about that another time, but I don't want to do this on here. But yeah, she basically just wants you to know she's perfectly fine and you're doing a great job, and please keep trusting your own intuition with a lot of things, because you're absolutely spot on with it. Thank you. I recently connected with guy M. I feel drawn to him and he intrigues me. Is there something here? Fantastic question. Let's have a look. So, where are we going here? Okay, so fantastic. Okay, so there's definitely something here from what I'm getting here, and it looks to me that there's some kind of like a professional connection to this here. Oh, this is coming across, and it looks to me that there's more than that though. This dark card here is just telling me that there's basically a really good connection here, and something is potentially to happen here, because it has a really good strong feel. I have to say, it looks to me that this is something that will be quite slow. It's not a very fast moving situation, but I'm sure you're aware of that. It looks to me that M is very, very busy with what he's doing, and he's generally quite a work focused person, but from what I'm getting here, it just looks to me that there's a strong feeling here of a connection, of an emotional soul connection. So this is definitely has potential, but like I said, yeah, it's something that will take time. It will take time to build from a friendship to something more. So for now, focus on building a friendship, and as you do that, you will then find it will naturally start flowing into the right direction, because it looks very promising, very special, it has a very good energy to it. So yes, this feels good. And yeah, the sun card coming up here. So this has a good long-term potential, as long as you take it very slowly and make sure that you don't rush things. That's the one key here. Make sure you're not rushing things. So, but it looks very promising. So let's have a quick look at your second question here. Are there any changes work-wise coming up for me? My manager and I clash a lot. Great question. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, look at that. It looks like a standoff, doesn't it? Because you're actually doing great work, but it's not really appreciated. So I do see that. Yeah, I mean, there's her being like all trying to be the boss and trying to be all good, and it's just the two of you just don't really work that well together, because your values and her values are not really aligned. There's something just not quite right, and I do see here that there's a change coming up from what I'm getting here in the energy, but also what I'm getting in just from talking to you before and everything. And it just feels to me that things are at the point where they're having to change, and you know that. And I know we looked at potentially you branching out on your own, and I do feel that this is something that would be really good for you, because you have got a lot of potential, a lot of energy within you that is very creative and that needs to be let out. And at the moment you are being held back with where you are, and it just feels to me that yes, you're really great at your job, but don't get me wrong, and I do see that you're very underappreciated right now and not very valued at times, even though you're doing everything you should be doing. But because of the energies, you and your manager clashing all the time, it just doesn't feel great. As I'm, however, looking at you doing something for yourself, you actually being the creative you that you're supposed to be, I do see that there's going to be a lot of success. I know that when we looked at things before, you kind of like were hesitant, but I'm just looking at your energy, and I'm just clairvoyantly linking in. I'm just seeing a whole pile, which looks like a pile of yarn, so you know what I'm talking about. And it just looks like there's a lot of finished things there. So I would say go with your gut, because you already know where you want to go and where things are heading, and trust in this, because I do see that you have a lot here. it just take things slow, take things one step at a time. When you want to build your brand, your business, do it basically one blanket at a time, and you will get there. It's not about having everything already together. It's about doing one thing, putting it aside, doing the next, and working that way, rather than putting yourself out there and then suddenly being overwhelmed. But I don't see you staying in that current position for too long, because the whole energy doesn't feel right. And I know you know what I'm talking about. It's right for now, but I do see your future is in you doing something beautiful for yourself and actually being a lot happier that way. I hope that helped a little bit. What do I need to know for my meeting with Jay? How does he feel about me? Fantastic question. Let's have a look. So let's start off with how he feels about you. Okay. So where are we going? Okay. Yeah, that looks perfect. So there's definitely something here. From what I'm getting here is there's a really strong soul connection. The two of you, I would say he's one of your soulmates. And it has a very strong, good feel to it. However, I do also see, even just looking at the energies, that he is someone who is very slow. He's a bit of a slow burner to really get to where he wants to be. And it looks to me that there's something here with him where he just feels a little bit apprehensive to actually explain how he feels. Sometimes that can happen with someone when they have been through quite a lot of hurt, or when they put themselves out and they got rejected. And I do feel that he has this kind of like, in a way, best way I can put it, a bit of a worry of saying how he really feels about it. Yeah, he's someone who quite often looks back at the past and doesn't really fully stay in the moment, and that is what's holding him back at times. But the overall feeling that I'm getting here is a very positive one, where he feels generally like that there's something really special here. The two of you have got something, and he feels it, you feel it, so it's definitely here. Just take things slow, because he's the kind of person, when he feels a bit overwhelmed on some level, he will back off a little bit. And I know you have seen that before with him, that it felt like you were really going well and everything was going somewhere, and then he kind of like backed off again. And it's because he does that when he feels a bit too overwhelmed. Because you have got the soul connection, you have got a lot of past lives that you have been together, and there's a certain amount of overwhelm and baggage that can sometimes come with this. So just keep that in mind. So let's see how you should actually handle this meeting. Let's take one of those. Let's see what we're getting. So yeah, it's basically about things coming true. Your wishes and your desires are coming together, and it will actually be going very well. So based on all of that and what I'm seeing here from your energies, you got something good here. It's something here that will actually be very promising and very special for both of you. Take it slow, don't rush into it, and most important, keep it at his pace. He is the kind of person who has the tendency, when he feels overwhelmed, he will back off, like I said already. So just keep things at his pace. Let him suggest the next meeting. Let him be the one that moves things forward, and take it from there. Take it just one step at a time. Do you see that this overall has a very good, strong feel to it? There's one other thing here that I'm seeing here just energetically, and that is that there seems to be some external pressure here from someone else. So that seems to be a third person involved with this here. So just keep that in mind. So I don't feel this is someone who is connected to you. So there seems to be someone connected to him. And it looks to me that this is a case of just make sure that when you actually get closer, that everything is very transparent all the time, because I do feel that there's someone here which feels very much like an ex energy who might want to try and spoil what the two of you could have. So just be forewarned. It's forewarned is forearmed, really, isn't it? And just take it very, very slowly, and like I said, let him be the one taking the lead, and it looks very promising to me. Let's put another card here. Yeah, it just feels to me that this is the right time for you to actually step into a proper relationship that is happy and promising, and where you actually feel like you have something here, where you feel heard, where you feel loved and appreciated. The only thing that I would say is just make sure you don't let your past hold you back, because when we've been hurt, then sometimes it's hard to then appreciate that not everyone was the same as our ex-partner or someone from like our childhood. He's very different, and I do see he has a very good heart, and his whole energy just feels great, and I'm getting a lot of good values here with him. As long as you can take things at his pace and don't rush them, this looks fantastic, and I do see that the two of you have got something here that can actually be special and lasting. So yeah, when you go into this meeting, take it easy, be relaxed, and try not to worry too much about everything else. Just be in the moment and you will be fine. Thank you.